Maps. My location. My location. The shops at University Place. JFK. Avoid tolls. 11 minutes. 16. 43 ETA. 3.1. Maps. Details. Heading. 250 feet. 0.7 miles. Turn right onto WW. Soberov.
Start en route to St. Simeon Serbian Orthodox Church. Proceed to J.M. Cain's Drive. Then turn right.
I read a story one time about a Saint Simeon. They call him the Sublime Madman. I wonder if it's the same thing.
Well, we have a few Saint Simeons.
Okay.
Turn right onto
I don't know.
turn right onto J.M. Cain's Drive.
You full back there?
Yeah, I'm good.
I can't ever finish that BFF. I struggle through the fries at the end.
Finish most of them.
All right. There's a, okay, which way? Like, which way?
It just says.
Okay, go to the right. Wait.
In a quarter mile, turn left.
There's a stop sign here. There's kids on a bike on a damn telephone. Problem with the world today, there's no parents. Let me see. Korean barbecue hot pot.
It's pretty good.
Oh, you been there?
I haven't.
Hot.
It's kind of expensive though. It's kind of bright.
At the stop sign, turn left. Then take the first right onto West W.T. Harris Boulevard.
Here's the Hilton.
Yep.
That's what they used to have there. Outing.
Christmas party.
Yeah.
At the light, turn right onto West W.T. Harris Boulevard.
Well, I'm going to turn right because I don't see anybody doing anything
In 1.7 miles, turn left onto Mallard Creek Road.
else. How are you getting?
Oh, Tanya's gonna meet me there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She just left the house. So I don't know if we'll get to see her.
Okay.
She was running late. She should have already been there. I thought I was late. We agreed to meet each other around 4:30.
It's 4:35 now.
Yeah.
Sorry it wasn't what you were expecting, Daddy.
Joey, what I was expecting was a reunion of the Saturday Club. The eating venue and all the other bullshit was just
The activity that was
on the side,
On the side.
ulterior.
And then where we go for my prosthetic eyes.
Yep.
Up here?
Minical Plaza Drive.
Did Nemanja ever have them removed?
No.
Do they
He
bother
was
him?
struggling with him for a while.
Yeah, then you got the calcium taken off.
In 1 mile, turn left onto Mallard Creek Road.
And then it got better. You know, like the calcium builds up on top of your eyelid.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a way that your eye tries to protect itself, to insulate itself. So it creates a calcium film on top of it,
Top of the cornea or the eyelid?
on top of your eyelid.
Oh, wow.
And so that can be really itchy. So I had mine scraped off. It's a relatively routine surgery. You're awake while they do it, but they numb you up really well, and then they take this kind of like windshield wiper looking thing.
Right.
And they scrape it off. But I need to have a cataract surgery.
Do you?
Yeah.
On your good eye?
Yes.
I have cataract surgery. You know what bothers the shit out of you after that? Intense lights.
Yeah. But it's complicated because they open the lens to do the cataract surgery.
Stay in the second or third lane from right.
Synthetic oil that holds my retina in place could move. They're worried that if that synthetic oil moves, it would detach my retina. It's turned into very complicated.
Go past this light, then at the next one, turn left.
Yeah, you gotta think about that.
At the light, use the left 2 lanes to turn onto Mallard Creek Road.
It's not an easy decision to make, Mr. Nowaku. Are your parents here or still in Serbia?
They're back. They got back last week.
Okay. Are they gonna be here?
Oh, I tried to call my mom earlier, but she didn't answer.
In half a mile, turn right onto Mason Drive.
I got my golf clubs in the back.
I go some play golf.
Stay in the right lane.
I'm really bad at golf.
What is this person doing? You have turn signals.
Where do you go play?
Charles T. Myers
Okay.
on Harrisburg Road.
This is Mason.
No.
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 No, the next one. Well, my granddaughter is a lawyer. Nowaku.
Oh.
Yeah.
What type of law does she do?
I don't even know.
Turn
her.
right onto Mason Drive.
She just got a
Then take the
job,
first right.
and she works at it's a South Carolina license right here. Surf Fest. People playing soccer.
I remember we came here once.
Yeah.
Was this that church we went to that time when I was little and it was in the house and the incense was going to make eyes drive,
Proceed to the route.
was like driving my eyes
Proceed to
crazy?
the route.
I did the same thing when I went to pick you up. I turned one
Proceed to the route.
exit too early.
Isn't it the place?
See. No, it's the next entrance. This looks like a bank.
Oh. I hear music. Y'all playing music over there, Milan?
Yeah.
It's a festival.
They didn't have that last time.
Maybe they hadn't started yet. I think you were here earlier in the day, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they have evolved. I remember you were playing some Latin American team, soccer with some Latin American team.
Turn right onto Mallard Creek Road. Then
Okay.
take the first right onto Mason Drive.
Whoa. So maybe they're just parking here for using this for parking.
It's just like that thing at
Turn right onto Mason Drive. Then take the first right.
Compare Foods on Tryon.
Flags are flying at my half staff. Just for Charlie.
Why?
But there's no American flag.
Turn right. Then the destination is on your right.
Why is there gotta be one?
Huh?
It's a Serbian church. Why would it be American flag?
You have to have the
Destination is on your
American
right.
flag.
St.
It
Simeon
has to fly
Serbian.
higher than anything else.
I don't think anybody pays attention to that.
I do.
I mean, yes, I don't think the people who write the tickets do.
Okay, Mr. Nwago, you're
thank you,
right
sir.
at the entrance of the church.
I appreciate it. I'll see you around.
It's a
Get lunch
pleasure.
sometime.
Alright, Belong.
Joe, I'll see you around.
I'll hear you later.
See you later.
Alright.
Okay, Nwago. Novakovic de La Habana y está bailando en Tropicana. Se fue a la casa. That little girl just flew in front of me.
Wow.
Se va with escudo en una palanga. Otro día. Shit, you can't get out through here.
Ja pozvao bi ključ, da joj kažem milosti mi sve, nisam znao tada, sada znam, nije za Atlantu. Da joj kažem milosti mi sve, nisam znao tada, sada znam, kad prava ljubav jednom zaklasi. Druga neće doći nikada, da ubiti joj srce svoje, ne nema srce dva, samo kada bude dobro.
There are a lot of people over here. Kind of a hot day. It was supposed to be cooler out here today.
See you later, Nwago.
Bye.
He's waiting to get in.
Huh?
I guess he's waiting to get in.
Got a little girl. These kids are flying through these cars.
The route calculation is complete. Proceed to the nearest road.
When was it that me and you came here?
Oh man, it was a long time ago. It was when we were hanging out with Nwago.
No, it was a couple years ago. It was a couple years ago.
Turn left after 2 miles onto I-85 south toward Gastonia.
It was either 22 or 23. Or maybe 21. It was in the 2020s. That was really nice.
It was nice for me. Finally, you did something that was nice for me. Getting Sanctus, and then we got together for our reunion with the Saturday Club, which brings back.
I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed seeing Milan. Would you go there again?
Where?
Boardwalk Willie's?
Yeah, the beach. Ah, I farted.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say.
West Sugar Creek.
Oh, we're on Graham Street. Maybe Mallard Creek. I know West Sugar Creek and Graham
North
is.
Graham Street.
Yep.
Damn, you're good, Joe.
You take this for ages and ages, you get to Mr. Charles.
Not for nothing, and it doesn't matter, okay? But I never understood why Milan has a job, he worked, why did he never offer to pay?
Why, what?
Why does he ever offer to pay?
I don't know. Because usually it's the person who, usually the job of paying falls to the person who reaches out and invite. Huh?
Does he invite him? That's the Cuban way. But,
That's the way you always told me it worked.
yeah.
I guess it's not just the Cuban way.
Here's how Javier works.
Oh.
So left.
So you can just go down.
Turn left after a quarter of a mile onto I-85 south toward Gastonia.
See, if he goes up to Sugar Creek, takes a right, he'd be like probably not even 10 minutes from Lion Services.
I told him he works right by you.
Yep. It's literally one
Turn
exit
second left.
down the... What was that?
Yes, what you call it?
Manhole?
No,
Didn't feel like a pothole.
no, it feel like it was on one side, but it's like, I can't think of it. A road,
A patch?
no, it's like, we got them in the neighborhood.
Speed bumps?
Speed bump.
Oh, that's a weird place to have a speed bump.
Yeah.
Keep right after 1 mile onto I-77 south toward Statesville. Take the second exit on the right onto I-77 south toward Statesville.
Should we go that way, Joe?
I mean, we can. It's not like we have anything to do, but there's probably a bunch of traffic there. Was that a Mustang?
Yeah. Oh, for God's sakes.
Take the second exit on the right.
Yeah, you can keep it.
Huh?
Say you can keep it. It's backed up. So if it's backed up, that means that it is backed up to 77.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Keep left after a quarter of a mile onto I-77 south toward Columbia. Turn right at exit 37 onto Interstate Highway 85 north toward Concord.
What? Why? Oh, because it's trying to take us back. How did that GPS get us a mile away from where Milan was?
Take the next exit on the right, then make the next right turn.
Joe,
Yeah?
I couldn't tell you that.
Did they just pave this road? Yeah, wanted us to take that exit, which is bullshit. Are we going on Billy Graham?
Yes, sir. that guy off. It's fucking ridiculous.
An appointment and went back a third time to get the shot.
All's well that ended well.
Still, it took a lot to get it.
I had time and insurance, a car, like the ability to go back multiple times.
Ethier worries that the kinds of barriers she encountered will discourage others from getting the vaccine. Ping Huang, NPR News.
And from Washington, you're listening to NPR News. Federal Reserve policymakers next Wednesday will meet where they are to consider cutting interest rates to spur the U.S. economy. It's expected the central bank's benchmark rate will be cut by 1/4 of a point to lower the cost of borrowing and boost the nation's sagging job market. Meanwhile, Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook claimed on a 2021 mortgage document that a condominium she purchased was a vacation home and not her primary residence. Multiple media outlets are reporting that could undermine claims from a Trump-appointed official that Cook committed mortgage fraud and should be dismissed from the Fed. The automaker Stellantis is canceling plans to build an all-electric pickup truck, but it says it will move forward with plans for a plug-in hybrid version. As NPR's Camilla Mentedowski reports, that means that automakers are retooling their EV imports.
Stellantis says that as demand for full-size battery electric pickups is slowing in North America, the company is axing plans for an all-electric Ram. But they're moving forward with a range-extended truck. An electric motor turns the wheels, delivering instant torque, while a gas-powered generator extends the vehicle's range. The idea is you can plug in or fuel up and drive and tow either way. Hefty federal tax credits for EV buyers are ending very soon. Deals need to be inked by the end of this month to qualify. That's expected to be a blow to demand for EVs, while demand for hybrids is projected to grow. Camila Dominowski, NPR News.
The 77th Primetime Emmy Awards are tomorrow night in Los Angeles. I'm Dan Roman, NPR News in Washington.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Luminescence Foundation. Luminescence Foundation is dedicated to shedding light on neurological research focused on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's diseases and supporting land conservation initiatives. This is NPR.
It's 5:06 and you're listening to All Things Considered on 90.7 WFAE. Support this afternoon comes from WFA listeners and Independent Picture House, hosting the 17th Annual Charlotte Film Festival with animated shorts, documentaries, and narrative features, September 23rd through the 28th. Tickets at charlottefilmfestival.org. That's charlottefilmfestival.org.
It's All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Scott Detrow. The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk is being held without bail at a Utah jail today. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson allegedly fired the single shot from a high-powered rifle that on Wednesday killed the conservative activist and media personality known for his appeal to young people. Police arrested Robinson Thursday night. Steve Futterman joins us from outside the Utah County Jail in Spring Fork, Utah. Hi, Steve.
Hi there, Scott.
So Robinson is being held where you are now. Officials said yesterday they don't believe anyone else was involved. Is that still the case?
Yes. However, like any investigation, authorities want to go through things like Robinson's cell phone, any computers he used, and they want to speak with those who knew him. Now, yesterday, officials said that Robinson had expressed negative views about Charlie Kirk, and one of those unused bullet casings had the words, "Hey, fascist, catch," written on it. But if the motive was political, like it appears to be to some, officials want to know if there was something that pushed Robinson over the edge.
Last night we heard from Charlie Kirk's widow. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right. Erica Kirk spoke on a live stream for around 15 minutes. She spoke from Phoenix, from the same studio that Kirk often used for his podcasts. Now, at times her voice cracked. She dabbed her eyes on several occasions, but her main message seemed to be that Charlie Kirk's movement will continue.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die.
And Erica Kirk blamed what she called evildoers for the death of her husband.
And as police try to figure out Tyler Robinson's motivations, people who knew him, people in his hometown are taking this all in. What are we hearing from them?
Yeah, absolutely. He lived with his parents in the small southwest Utah town of Washington with a population of around 30,000. It's not far from the city of St. George. We have not heard, at least to this point, any neighbors describe him as odd or acting strange. People who knew him have told reporters Robinson wasn't necessarily part of the cool kids in high school, but he was well-liked and a good student. Melissa Tate, a neighbor of the Robinson family, told our colleagues at member station KUER that she worries events like this are becoming more and more normal.
This is everywhere. Every community, every town, every state. It's going to be everybody's neighbor, everybody's classmate. It's not at all unusual anymore.
And of course, it was Robinson's father who initially confronted his son, telling him that he thought his son was the one being shown in pictures released by police. Now, on the Utah Valley University campus where Kirk was killed, there's a sense of relief today that someone has been arrested, but Raymond Lopez, a nursing student, says there are still plenty of concerns.
My and a lot of our peers, our biggest fear is retaliation or something happening again. Class has been pushed off till Wednesday. I will say that I did sign the petition for him not to come because I thought it was going to incite violence. Sadly, I think that is what happened.
So is it fair to say...
Now, at the Utah University campus, there's a growing memorial with flowers. And the next event we're waiting for is Tyler Robinson to be formally charged. That's expected on Tuesday. At that time, he will make his first court appearance.
That is Steve Butterman in Springport, Utah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott.
After Utah's Republican Governor Spencer Cox identified the suspected shooter of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk, he pleaded for a change in the country's political culture. Cox also delivered a message specifically to young Americans. Martha Harris with member station KUER in Salt Lake City reports from Utah State University.
Cox spoke Friday morning from behind a podium inside Utah Valley University. The state school is where Kirk was murdered. Cox looked exhausted and emotional. He told young Americans,
"You are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage."
This shooting has hit some young Americans especially hard. Not only did some witness it, but many of Kirk's fans were young people. At the same time, Cox acknowledged there were young people who hated Kirk.
Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations.
Freshman Grace Atkinson agrees. The Utah State University student was sitting with friends on a sunny afternoon. Atkinson said she believed some of Kirk's views were dehumanizing, but she thinks his death is tragic and signifies the problems in America.
I really think that we do need to have hard conversations, otherwise things aren't going to change.
She says that kind of dialogue is not happening right now. Atkinson is sitting by her roommate, Sydney Archibald. Archibald liked Kirk, and she agrees with Atkinson.
I've never really ever talked politics with anyone my age, just because it's something we have been told not to do. So we just never do it because we don't want to offend somebody.
Archibald says Kirk's death might make her peers even more scared to share their opinions. During the news conference, Cox said this was a traumatic event, especially for college students.
Again, I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community.
Student Riley Tingstall appreciated Kirk. She found him the same way most young people did, through social media. She thinks that it may be worth taking a beat away from those platforms, but it's a catch-22.
I mean, realistically, it's hard for just so much of our lives are spent on social media, and we also connect with a lot of people on there as well in a lot of good ways.
All three students want to be able to speak more openly with others, and they're grappling with how to get there. For NPR News, I'm Martha Harris.
We're going to take a few minutes now to look at how President Trump has handled all of this. At difficult moments for the nation, it's often the role of the president to deliver meaning, resoluteness, and calm. Think of George W. Bush in the immediate wake of 9/11 as one recent example. This week, in the hours immediately after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, President Trump took a different approach. He blamed his political opponents.
Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives.
Trump said his administration would be coming for people and organizations that contribute to political violence. NPR senior White House correspondent Tamara Keith joins us now. Hey, Tam.
Hi, Scott.
You have covered Trump for a long time. This is, unfortunately, far from the first violent political act that he has had to respond to as president. So how does his handling here compare to the other times?
Trump and members of his family were quite close to Charlie Kirk, so this attack was personal for Trump. And his response was immediately partisan. Compare that to what happened after the shooting at a congressional baseball team practice in 2017. In that case, Republican lawmakers were targeted by a man who had been a Bernie Sanders supporter. But in a scripted address, Trump took a very traditional approach and said the nation is strongest when we are unified.
We may have our differences, but we do well in times like these to remember that everyone who serves in our nation's capital is here because, above all, they love our country.
And Tam, we have to talk about a big factor here. The president himself was shot at last summer at that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Remind us of his rhetoric after that assassination attempt against him.
Yeah, it was interesting because a lot of his supporters were really fast to blame left-wing rhetoric, but Trump was more restrained. And in that case, the ideology of the shooter who was killed by police is, to this day, still quite unclear. His list of potential targets included Democrats and Republicans.
Like we said, unfortunately, a lot of examples to pick from. But I do want to ask about one recent example a lot of people have brought up this week, and that's the targeted attacks on Minnesota Democrats this past summer that killed former House Speaker Melissa Hortman. How did Trump respond this summer after those shootings?
Hortman and her husband were murdered. Another Democratic lawmaker was gravely injured. It was a targeted attack. Trump posted about the attack on social media, saying such horrific violence will not be tolerated in the United States of America. But he didn't get into the partisan nature of the targeting, and he hasn't really mentioned it since.
I mean, is it fair to say that he just downplays it when violence comes from the political right?
Yeah, let me give you another example. In 2018, a Trump supporter who sent explosives to Democrats and also CNN was taken into custody. President Trump responded by praising law enforcement and criticizing the media for mentioning the suspect's political affiliation. He said the media was using the sinister actions of one individual to score political points against him and Republicans.
Yet when a Bernie Sanders supporter tried to murder congressional Republicans and severely wounded a great man named Steve Scalise and others, we did not use that heinous attempt at mass murder for political gain because that would have been wrong.
So in 2018, he was saying a partisan response to a terrible crime would be wrong. But in this case, with the murder of Charlie Kirk, Trump is quite firmly sticking to his view that Democrats and harsh rhetoric on the left are to blame.
You say quite firmly. Is it fair to say he has not softened his rhetoric since the alleged assailant was taken into custody?
Right. He was on Fox and Friends yesterday, and Ainsley Earhardt gave him an opportunity to offer a unifying message.
How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right, oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
So take that and then compare it to the way he describes the other side.
The radicals on the left are the problem, and they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy.
And in this way, Trump is like so many others in this polarized country who think their side is essentially fine and it's the other side that's evil. The difference, of course, though, is that he's the president of the United States.
NPR's Tamara Keith, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News.
And still to come on All Things Considered, as ICE immigration enforcement intensifies across the country, a Supreme Court ruling permits racial profiling as grounds for immigration stops. And a new exhibition in London shares David Bowie's archive, tracing his personas and evolution as a musician and artist. Those stories are coming up. Clear tonight with lows alone near 60. Sunny and pleasant tomorrow with highs in the mid-80s, and more sunshine on Monday. It's 82 degrees here in Charlotte.
Hey, it's Glenn Washington from Snap Judgment. When's the last time you even turned your car on? No, not that car. The other one. The one sitting there in your driveway, covered in leaves and pollen and dog hair. Don't just let it sit there in neglect. Donate it to WFAE instead. We'll give it a new home and turn your gift into the programs you love. It's easy. Pickup is free, and you may even qualify for a tax deduction. Visit WFAE.org/cars to get started.
I'm Dan Ronan with these news headlines. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, the man who police in Utah say is a suspect in the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, is being held without bail and is due to make his first court appearance Tuesday. President Trump is calling on NATO members to stop buying oil from Russia, as he said buying petroleum from Moscow diminishes NATO's leverage when it comes to forcing Russia to stop its war against Ukraine. Poland and allied aircraft were deployed today in what Warsaw is calling a preventative operation because of Russian drone strikes in the neighboring areas of Ukraine. One airport in eastern Poland was closed. I'm Dan Ronan, NPR News in Washington.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Capital One, offering their premium travel card Venture X. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Details at CapitalOne.com. From the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, supporting creative people and effective institutions committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. More information is at macfound.org. And from listeners like you who donate to this NPR station.
From NPR News, this is All Things Considered. I'm Scott Detrow. Federal immigration raids are getting more and more common across the country. On Monday, the Supreme Court cleared the way for federal immigration enforcement agents in Los Angeles to use race and other profiling factors in deciding who to stop and potentially detain. At the same time, ICE has expanded operations in Massachusetts and Illinois, and it remains active in Washington, D.C. With the backing of the federal government and the courts, ICE is moving quickly to carry out the White House's deportation agenda. So, what does it mean for protecting the civil rights of Americans? For more on this, we're going to bring in NPR immigration correspondent Jasmine Garsd. Hey, Jasmine.
Hi, Scott.
There's a lot to talk about here, but first I want to start with this court ruling because it has gotten a lot of attention, and I think various elements of it have been kind of confusing. What do we need to know about what the Supreme Court said?
So the Supreme Court, in a temporary ruling, basically what they said is that immigration agents may consider factors like race, whether Spanish is being spoken, whether English is being spoken with an accent, and employment, location, are people hanging out outside of a Home Depot. They may consider those factors when deciding to detain and interrogate someone.
It's temporary, as the case still plays out, but I mean, let's play this out to its logical conclusion. If a United States citizen who's Latino in Los Angeles is walking down the street, Does he feel like he has to carry his passport with him at this point?
Certainly, people who I have been speaking to are already doing that. People have been doing that in Los Angeles for months now, and increasingly I'm hearing people around the country, Latinos around the country, who are doing that. And really the fact that they're doing that underscores the importance of this ruling.
What else are people doing who have a worry in one way or another that they might be stopped and detained?
Scott, I don't think I've ever, as an immigration reporter, spoken to so many people who are hiding behind closed doors. I mean, who are just not going out. I spoke to one family yesterday here in Washington, D.C., where I am, who they have just stopped going to work. They've been here for about 25 years, and they're just not going out anymore. And they are going to self-deport, which is kind of, one of the pillars of this administration's policy.
But in the meantime, they're literally hiding from their government.
They're literally behind closed doors. They are literally asking their son, who is an American citizen, a teenager, to go out and do the groceries. And that's kind of been like this really important pillar of policy, which is to make life feel so difficult for immigrants without papers. And, arguably with this Supreme Court decision, also for people who are Latinos and who are Spanish speakers or speak with an accent, that the consideration is to self-deport.
I want to talk specifically about a few of the cities. Chicago has been in the news for a lot of reasons lately. President Trump making threats against the city of Chicago, threatening to bring in the National Guard. We've seen reports in recent days that ICE activity has picked up in Chicago. What do we know about that?
We know that he's launched a second immigration enforcement surge. We know that there is increased activity. It is important to highlight here that we haven't seen a significant increase in detentions right now in Chicago. But we definitely have seen a heightened rhetoric, and we have seen this surge in immigration enforcement initiatives in Chicago and ICE agents, but we haven't really seen a significant increase in detentions just yet.
Do we have a baseline number about how many of these detentions are happening a day nationwide, roughly?
I mean, we know that the goal is 3,000 a day. We know that there has been a significant increase nationwide. I think a really important number to highlight is that consistently around 70% of people in immigration detention do not have a criminal conviction. And that seems like a really important statistic to think about when we're asking this question: what does it mean that you can consider all these factors during detention?
So we're talking about the national picture, we're talking about Chicago. What about Boston? That's another city that's gotten some attention lately.
Yes, we also have seen a second immigration enforcement surge in Boston. It's important to note that what the administration is doing here is talking about sanctuary cities, right? Cities where there are policies that local law enforcement cannot collaborate with immigration enforcement. And they're also blue cities, very specifically.
Curious what groups trying to oppose this are telling you, whether it's civil rights organizations or legal groups or just people who are trying to document these detentions on the street as they happen with their phones. Like, what, if anything, are the people you're talking to feeling like they can do in this moment if they oppose these actions?
Right now I'm in D.C. Doing field work in D.C. and Maryland and Virginia, and what I'm seeing is a heightened citizen activism, which includes things like taking children to school if their parents are undocumented and they are afraid of taking their kids to school. It also includes taping video of people being detained. Can they stop the detention? Not necessarily, but the reasoning that I'm being told about it is to get any identifying features about the agent and also to talk about who is being detained. Do they have a family member who can speak for them?
You're trying to get identifying features, and that's the reason that we've heard, at least, why so many of these agents are masking themselves.
Yes, masking themselves. We're also hearing about no license plates on marked cars, civilian wear where in my reporting, something that has been really alarming is short-term disappearances. I mean, people who are detained and that nobody can find them in the system for 3 or 4 days. And so part of the reason why people say they're taking these videos is to be able to contact family members.
I just want to underscore this because at times it feels like hyperbole, but we are talking factually about masked agents in unmarked vehicles taking people off the street, and at times those people can't be identified. Like those are things that you just said. Those are things that have been documented. It feels shocking to a lot of people, but I just want to underscore, like, this is the reality we're covering right now.
This is the reality. I mean, look, this man who I spoke to, who has been in the U.S. for some 25 years, who is hiding in his home, who has a job in the service industry, he said so many things that just really were quite shocking about not being able to go out, not being able to get groceries, considering leaving. But the one thing he said that really stuck with me was, America is for white people now.
I, over the course of the year, kept thinking about the interviews that we did right before the election, the week of the election. President Trump ran on this. This platform was a big appeal for many of the people who voted for him. And I'm wondering, at this moment in time, as somebody who covers this issue, are you surprised by any of this?
I mean, this, like you said, this was a centerpiece of his campaign. This was the promise. And I think the promise...
Oh, you gotta go to Food Lion, you said something
yeah,
about...
The promise was, we are going to take all those criminals and all those rapists and even, you know, all those cannibals and mental institution patients. These are actual things that were said, who are immigrants off of the streets. And the fallacy within that promise is that we know, we have abundant criminological studies that say that there is, you know, immigrants and undocumented immigrants do not commit crimes at the same rate as American citizens. And so I'm not surprised, because when you make a promise like that, when you promise a historic mass deportation, you have to keep up with those numbers. I think the thing that has surprised me is when I speak to MAGA supporters behind closed doors, to Trump supporters, and there is kind of a you know, in hushed tones, an expression of, I'm no longer comfortable with this, or this is affecting my business. And it remains in hushed tones, but I am seeing more of that. I'm seeing more conservatives who are not entirely comfortable with what's happening right now.
That is NPR immigration correspondent Jasmine Garth. Jasmine, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
And it is important to note that although some Republican voters may be softening on their support for the president's approach to immigration, recent polling from the end of the summer does indicate that an overwhelming majority still support it. To watch video of my conversation with Jasmine Garth, you can visit NPR's YouTube page. Anybody looking for a Ziggy Stardust, Aladdin Sane, and The Man Who Sold the World can now finally find all of David Bowie's personas and their far-out costumes in the same place, a warehouse in East London. Today, the David Bowie Center has opened in the British capital, 9 years after his death. It is home to an archive of thousands of items that belong to the iconic rock star. NPR's Robbie Griffiths got a private tour of the Starman's legacy.
There's a starman waiting in the sky.
Have you ever wondered how David Bowie got the ideas for his songs? Now fans can find out at the new David Bowie Centre, which opens this weekend in East London, Stratford. It's a public archive that holds 90,000 items that were owned by the singer, including notebooks chronicling his creative process. Here, for the first time, people can get up close to Bowie's treasures.
So on this table, we have some quite unusual items.
Okay.